go to the trap to get your weed, you can get shot, you can get stabbed, you can get bit by a pit bull, you get pulled over by the police. Anything can happen. By the time you get the weed, you deserve it. You got PTSD. You shaking like a motherfucker, bro. Motherfucker almost shot me.
I don't smoke with everybody. Everybody ain't got good smoking etiquette. Ash the blunt, nigga. Pass me the blunt. Huh. Don't pass me the blunt, they got your ash on it. Nigga, I don't know that ash. If you a juicy jaw motherfucker, wipe your mouth off. Right? Shouldn't be no DNA on the blunt when I get it back. What it tastes like? Your breakfast, nigga, is... I said Kush, not Quiche. Tell me the story why I got the blunt. Tell me the motherfucking story why I got the blunt. Niggas kill me with that. Niggas get fucked. Oh, these people not laughing, they must not smoke, see. People that smoke got a tendency to magically remember this story. It's a good story, a never-ending story, if you will. And while they trying to tell you the story, they hit the blunt. And while they hit the blunt, they forget the story. And then they hit the blunt again to try to remember the story. And then you don't hit no story or smoke no weed. It's really a bad night. It's really no fun.
Y'all be hella chillin', nigga. I know y'all can tell. I low-key blew weed smoke on half of this audience tonight, nigga. Okay. One appreciative high-ass nigga. I hate when people think just because you smoking, that they should be smoking. Like, I love everybody, but nigga, no. We still fresh out of COVID, nigga. Like, and I don't even know if we out of it yet. Niggas is just back fucking raw, just living life. I see niggas kissing in the mouth in the club the other day. I was like, okay, we there with it again.
Sometimes when you're high, you start trying to turn into a motherfucking real-ass genius. I got home, I looked at the pot pie and said, preheat the oven for 5 minutes on 375, then place pot pie on cookie sheet for 20 to 25 minutes, then up on removal, let it cool for 9 more minutes. And I'm thinking to myself, I did the math, I said, this is 9 and this is 5 and that's a 20. I said, God damn, that's 36 minutes for a goddamn pot pie. So I turned into a motherfucking stupid genius. I said, well, instead of preheating the oven to 350, 375, how about I just crank this bitch all the way up to 500 and something? That's what I thought. I put that motherfucker on 588 and slid that shit in the cooking sheet in the oven. Man, I fucked around and dozed off. I woke up, the fire department was at my house. Hey, hey! Smoke was everywhere. They poured this. When they goddamn left, everything in my house had the little white foam and shit. It was wet. Everything in the fucking house was fucked up, but the pot pie, it was still there. It was black as fuck. It was burnt, but it was still there. So I became a goddamn creative genius again. I was so hungry after all this excitement. I fucked around and peeled the top of the pot pie off. The guts were still good. I took the guts and poured that shit on some white bread. I made a pot pie sandwich. Put some oregano and some Parmesan cheese on that bitch. Some of y'all thinking right now, hell yeah. Man, a goddamn pot pie sandwich burger. Hey, that nigga is a genius, boy.
Y'all got legal weed. That's, it ain't that great. Fuck that, I'm from Atlanta, that shit illegal. I like going to the trap to get my weed. Fuck that. I like an element of danger. You go to the trap to get your weed, you can get shot, you can get stabbed, you can get bit by a pit bull, you get pulled over by the police. Anything can happen. By the time you get the weed, you deserve it. You got PTSD. You shaking like a motherfucker, bro. Motherfucker almost shot me. You deserve it. You deserve that shit, man. You earned it. I don't like the weed store. The weed store here, I wasn't used to it. It was weird. Yeah, they put tax on the shit. You gonna tax the weed, man? Round the shit up, man. Don't have me in here trying to carry the one at the register. Hold on, wait a minute. You count your money both ways. Flip it over to me. Now, how much I got? 7 grams. 7 grams. I don't want that shit. You go to the weed store, they ask you for your ID. Bitch, I thought I was buying drugs. What the fuck is this? You need to see ID. This don't seem right. Shit got a velvet rope, like you at the bank. You gotta wait in line, like you. Gotta wait for your number to be called. I don't like that shit. The weed store got all the lights on. That's how y'all gonna sell drugs, with all the lights on. Turn some of this shit off, man. I'm from Atlanta, I buy drugs in the dark. That's how we buy drugs. You go in the trap house, there's one light on in the kitchen. That's it, one light. When you go in there, you put your money in the light. A hand come out of nowhere, take your money, man. Give you whatever the fuck you ask for and you leave. You can't even snitch. Who did you see? I don't know. The motherfucker from the Addams Family. It was a hand. I never saw his face. Motherfucker had cuticles. That's all I saw. That's all I saw.